For the first time ever, the total credit card debt across the U.S. has topped $1 trillion. That's a $154 billion spike from this time last year, and the largest increase in more than 2 decades.
So with this Xbox MasterCard that I got, as you can see, I have a balance of $10,000 that's available credit. And the thing that had me looking at it specifically was they give you offers pretty often. And this offer right here is 0% promo APR, but it's 19.99% after 11/126. And it says 4% promo balance transfer fee, $5 minimum. So what it says, 0% APR until 11/126. That's November of next year. After that, there's 19.99% variable, 4% balance transfer fee, $5 minimum, no maximum. So that's if you're trying to transfer a balance, which I wouldn't be. It said whatever transactions you post must be posted to the account by October 14, 2025, which is a little bit more than a month from now. It says this offer is only valid for your account ending in 74, whatever. So that's one of the offers that they have right there. And as far as I know, I think there weren't any other offers. In fact, let's see what it says my FICO score is. Oh, gee, 850. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. Well, thank you very much. Now, what I like about this is how Barclays handles right here with the offers. So if we go to offers, they show you each offer that they do offer. I think, and I'm going to probably call them just to check, but this offer right here basically allows you to buy whatever you want, and it gives you 1 year to pay it off with 0% APR. So I like that. And I'm definitely thinking about using this card specifically to book my trip to Vietnam and Cambodia, business class, along with whatever the condo is going to cost. So I'm definitely thinking about that. I may call Capital One and I may ask them if they can match this offer. Or I might even call Wells Fargo and ask them if they can match this offer. But usually, unless they send it to you as an offer in your email or something, usually they don't really have the ability to just do that. But I will check just in case, because I would rather spend on my Capital One Venture, or I would rather spend on my Wells Fargo signature card. But if I have to spend on the Xbox card, that's fine, I'll do that. Now, very quickly, I've probably brought it up before to you. When I went on my vacation last year to Bali and Singapore, I financed the entire thing using a Wells Fargo autograph card. That card had a 0% annual fee. And at that time, they were offering you like close to $600 back, or that comes out to like 60,000 bonus points. But you had to spend like $4,000 within the first 3 months. Because I booked that trip and I spent basically like $12,000 on that trip, since Singapore was fucking expensive. And when I went over there, I also bought a whole wardrobe. I bought a bunch of suits and tuxedos, and I had them all tailor-made when I was in Bali. I think you probably remember that when I showed it in the video. But anyway, that was the autograph card. Now they've reduced their offer this time, and now they've switched what used to be part of the autograph card offer. They've switched that to this card right here, the Autograph Journey. But the problem that I see is now they want an annual fee of $95. I'm like, I'm not paying you no $100 a year. You can forget that shit. So at the deal that I had was 60,000 bonus points, and you had to spend $4,000 in purchases. So all they did was they took the deal that was here and they switched it to this. The Autograph Journey didn't exist last year around this time, from what I remember. Now, for those of you who might be interested in doing the same thing I'm doing, like if you want to take a vacation and you want to put 0% interest on it, which is what I'm going to do no matter what, because I'm going to Vietnam and Cambodia, they have this new card, the Reflect card. They have a $0 annual fee. It doesn't come with that bonus point bonus. But if you do qualify for it and you do get accepted to it, they have 0% intro APR for 21 months. And then after that, it's 17.24 or 23% or 28% variable. The bottom line is I don't pay interest. What I do is I pay the card off every single night so that I make sure that I never have to pay these people interest. And thus far, that's what basically helps me boost my credit. And a couple of you have sent me emails. I'm not going to, say your names aloud, but you know who I'm talking about. And you've said, yeah, now that I pay, I'm doing like you do, and I pay my credit card every single night, my credit score has gone up. And you will see that if you pay down your debt and you keep your balances at zero without any revolving balance, you will see that, yes, your credit score can easily be as high as mine. So I see built right here, but that's for like paying rent or something. So right now, once again, if you're interested in making any really big purchases and you need 0% interest for 21 months, this is the card right here. Now, of course, it matters what your balance is, because some of you may not get cleared for over $10,000 worth of balance. Some of you may get between $15,000 and $20,000. But it really comes down to what your balance is that'll determine what you can buy. And in my case, I know the Vietnam Cambodia trip is going to be expensive. And I also know that buying that Alienware computer is going to be expensive so long as I don't do the financing through Dell itself. But yeah, that's basically it right here. So I could check with Wells Fargo, since I love seeing my, I love seeing my, what is this? They give me an offer right here, low promotional APR. They keep trying to get you to do these balance transfers. And for the most part, it's like you shouldn't really be doing balance transfers, because you're just moving money around in circles, and that might not be a good thing. So yeah, moving money around in circles like you're a fucking investment bank is probably really not a good thing. It really isn't. I'm just looking for account services where it says FICO score, but let me just keep looking. FICO. I should be able to check my FICO score right there. Where is it? It was here. Oh, here it is. It should be down here. View your FICO credit score. Yep. Oh, gee. Like when I'm talking about 850, I'm talking about 850. That's what I'm talking about. So as you can see, October all the way through to September, as you can see, that's that 850. I'm not playing around with these banks. I ain't playing. And now you may remember I kept saying that because of the fact that I had taken out a credit card, the Wells Fargo signature card, because I had taken that card out, it actually hurt my score right there, and it went from exceptional to whatever comes before exceptional. But you're allowed to run your credit, I think at most it's twice a year, and after the year has passed, the score in that segment specifically will go back up. So now mine is exceptional, 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 and exceptional. Now, I was going to do a voiceover, but I'm not going to bother to do the voiceover because this is from Mac Rumors. You can get to this yourself. So it says Apple Card turned 6. As you know, we are about a week and a half away from, I think it's September 9th. We're a little bit more than a week away from Apple going to announce the iPhone 17 and whatever new products they have for this year. 6 years ago, they brought out the Apple Card. And I think it was maybe 2 years after that they offered Apple Savings. Now, I took out the Apple Savings account because I figured, it's a free savings account, might as well have it. I think it was during that time, I think that was around like 2022, maybe 2021. They had all types of scams and shit going on trying to get money from people. There were a lot of people who they realized didn't have savings accounts because a lot of these people were determined to go to these goddamn check cashing places and cash their check, and they had no savings account, and that was stupid. During COVID, they forced everybody to have a savings account or a checking account so that they could direct deposit their money. Some of these people, I got to have my check in my hand. I got to be able to take my check to the bank. And you try to argue with these people, like, that's stupid and it's inefficient. And sure enough, those very same people have fucked up credit because they don't pay their bills on time. So now the system is forcing everybody to say, no, we ain't got time for this payroll secretary shit. You're going to have a savings or a checking account, and you're going to have direct deposit. See, some of these people really need a foot in their ass. And that's the reason why I appreciate Trump, because Trump keeps these people up at night. He's got his foot up their ass, and they can't even sit down without it hurting. And I appreciate that because some of these people are very inefficient. Some of these people are very backward minded, and they like to do shit the old way. But the new way is ready to get rid of the old way, and these people have to update or be eliminated. That's what Gordon Gekko said. It's like either you're going to have to get with the times or you're going to get eliminated. That's what he said. So anyway, Apple's credit card can be managed in iPhone's wallet, blah, blah, blah. The anniversary comes ahead of a big change. As you may know, Apple is part of Goldman Sachs MasterCard. Now, Goldman Sachs, as I've told you, you should buy their stock because eventually their stock is going to hit $1,000 and it's going to exceed that, and they're probably going to end up doing a stock split. But Goldman Sachs, if you take a look at their fundamentals, they're doing really well. People used to call them government Sachs, but, we call them Goldman Sachs or whatever. But it says it's possible that Apple Card may be moving to Chase Bank. And if that happens, they'll be leaving Goldman Sachs. They'll be moving to Chase Bank. And I'm interested in seeing what would happen because that would mean now I would be a Chase customer rather than Goldman Sachs. The problem with Apple Card is that Apple Card was really designed around Apple products. So when you buy their products, you get 3% cash back. But Goldman Sachs really wasn't making money on Apple Card. And on top of that, Goldman Sachs is not really a credit card bank. They're an investment bank. So the problem is when people have problems with customer service, you're not calling Goldman Sachs for that. And you have to go through Apple and their AI intelligence chat thing in order to get answers. But for the most part, they didn't offer enough services where you'd really interact with them. So a lot of people weren't happy with Apple Card. Now, for me, it just served as another option for my Apple Pay on my iPhone. So it wasn't really a big deal for me, and having Apple Savings was okay, but I had problems there too. For example, if I have money in the savings and I want to take it out, you can't just go to an ATM because Apple Card doesn't support that. So the question is, how do I get this money out of here? So the money is in savings. They have a relatively high interest rate that they give you on your money, but the problem is, how do you access the money? And that's one of the reasons why these online banks don't have storefronts and they don't have bank branches. So they're able to give you higher interest simply because they don't offer all of those services. They don't have that much overhead because they have fewer employees. So there were a couple of things that bothered me about Apple Card and Apple Savings. If you want to add money to Apple Savings, you pretty much have to do it by linking a checking account from somewhere else to add money to the Apple Savings. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, I should be able to deposit a check directly to it, and it should be able to take that check, but it can't do that. The other way to get money in your Apple Savings was if you buy Apple products and you get cash back on those Apple products. So that gives you instantaneous cash back, and it goes right into the Apple Savings account, and then it starts earning interest. I was okay with that. But my bottom line is, well, how do I put money in and how do I take money out? So if the only way to put money in was with, linking a checking account, that's not that great. Even Charles Schwab, my investments, you can deposit checks directly to Charles Schwab. I'm not sure, and don't quote me on it, but I think Charles Schwab actually has a debit card. I could be wrong because for most of these companies like Robinhood, Coinbase, they have a debit card. I could be wrong about that, but I think they have a way to directly take money out of your Charles Schwab account using a debit card, but I'd have to check on that. In fact, I'll check on that right now. Okay, so I was right. I looked it up really quickly. Charles Schwab does have a Visa debit card. So it says fine debit card security and convenience with the Schwab Bank Visa Platinum debit card. And it says open a checking account. So that means you probably have to have a checking account. I don't think you can debit directly from your trading account, but I'd have to check on that too. So what is it? It says contactless debit cards. It's got the Visa logo on it. That's another stock I told you to buy. Make your phone your mobile debit card. Okay, so yeah, you could use Apple Pay or you could use Android Pay and you could pay directly from it, or you could use your phone to near field communication the money. So yeah, I figured they had to have had a debit card, but I don't actually have a Charles Schwab debit card. But I'm gonna look into that because if I can get one from my what is this called? Investor checking? I think that's what I would be getting. A checking account built for investors. It says no fees and a JD Power. Yeah, but you got to open a checking account. That's what they want. They want you to open a checking account. It says ditch the fees with no monthly service fees. There's no monthly service fees. Transfer cash between your brokerage and checking account in seconds. Yeah, well, okay, that sounds cool, but I already can do that anyway because I linked one of my savings accounts with my trading account, so I could do that anyway. It says no foreign transaction fees. That's another thing that Visa and MasterCard mostly have dropped. Unlimited ATM fee rebates for cash withdrawals. All right, so yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, I figured they had to have had a card. Everybody has a debit card when you have money sitting like that. But yeah, that's the only thing that I had a concern with. There should be easier ways to put your money in, and there should be easy ways to take your money out, so that this way you don't have to wait like 2 and 3 business days to transfer something from one place to another. That was my only concern. But yeah, that's the reason why I really, I only wanted to make this video. I just wanted to talk about the Apple Card just a little bit. And I think I'll end right here. It says Apple Card feels premium, but the perks sure don't. This is 14 days ago. So it says if you ever held an Apple Card in your hand, and you'll know what I mean when I say it's a sleek piece of technology than just another piece of plastic. The titanium build, the clean design, blah, blah, blah. It says, don't get me wrong. After using Apple Card for a while, I've run into a nagging issue that keeps bugging me more and more, particularly as the cost of travel continues to rise. It's that for all its elegance, the Apple Card doesn't offer much in the way of meaningful rewards, especially for travelers. Travel hackers and points collectors will no doubt agree with me here. Apple nailed the design but didn't finish the job. And I think that ultimately comes from the fact that it's part of Goldman Sachs rather than, now if Chase takes it over, chances are you'll get similar travel rewards or something as you would like if it was a Chase Sapphire or something. Maybe. I don't think that they can force you to pay an annual fee for it, because if they did, I would cancel it. I'm not going to have a credit card that forces me to pay an annual fee. That's something you do when you have a business credit card. And we do have an Amex Centurion for the business, but that's a whole nother league of card. You got to spend like $250,000 every single year on that card. You have to, otherwise they revoke it. And now everybody's trying to make themselves a black card, and that's part of the reason why you see Americans going deeper and deeper into debt, which is the reason why I kept telling you should buy banks and credit card stock. But it says, let me start with the positives. More specifically, there are among the actual reasons I've stuck with the Apple Card as long as I have. First and foremost is simplicity. Unlike other cards that hit you with things like late fees, foreign transaction, or annual fees, Apple Card makes a point of staying fee-free. That alone is pretty refreshing when other cards are about nickel and diming you. I also love the Apple Wallet integration, which is a fantastic way of keeping tabs on your money. And yes, Apple visually, the design system they have inside Apple Card Wallet is brilliant. I love it. And it makes it very easy to track what you have to pay back, and it makes it very easy to pay back. I also like the fact if any of your bills go up, Apple will tell you right away that one of your bills has gone higher than it normally should be. And it'll alert you, and then you can make whatever, changes you have to make. I also like the fact that if you have subscriptions that you want to cancel, it allows you to cancel them just pretty much instantaneously. And I like that. That's pretty cool. Where Apple Card needs to improve. Oh, so it's this guy. I saw one of his videos talking about this on YouTube. It says, here's the flip side, though. As much as I'm a big fan, I can't shake the feeling I'm leaving money on the table using this card. The perks, to be blunt, are almost non-existent compared to what you find with competitors. You get daily cash, 1% on purchases with the physical card, 2% with Apple Pay, and 3% at select partners. But that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, other cards are practically throwing rewards at you with points that can be transferred to airline sign-up bonuses worth hundreds of dollars or more, rotating cashback categories, and travel perks like lounge access. For those reasons, as much as I love Apple Card, I feel like I'm nevertheless at a crossroads. I for sure don't want to give up the simplicity and the security it offers, but unless Apple beefs up the perks, whether through better cashback rates, travel rewards, or partnership beyond Apple's own ecosystem, I'm probably going to start looking elsewhere. Apple, your card feels premium in the hand. The problem is it definitely doesn't feel premium in my wallet. Okay, I totally agree with that. As I said, I would like to see travel points, travel rewards, and as he says, he'd like to see more cashback options than just buying Apple products. But that's part of the reason why Goldman Sachs is getting rid of them, or Goldman Sachs wants to split with them, and that's part of the reason why, they may end up with Chase, which that would probably work out just fine. And I'm sure Chase would love to have the how should I say, prestige of being partnered with Apple in that manner. For whatever that's worth, because Apple has been kind of falling back lately. They haven't really... See, people say they haven't been innovating, but to tell you the truth, I don't see any of these other companies innovating either. Android phones are the same shit every single time they make a new one. Yeah, the camera's better. Yeah, it's a little bit faster. Yeah, there's more RAM. But that's not innovation. That's incremental improvements. That's the same thing Apple gets blamed for. These folding phones are stupid. I see no reason to have a folding phone. If I needed something that has a screen that big, I'd have an Apple iPad mini, or I'd have a tablet mini to carry with me. I just don't see the point in a folding phone. I like having a phone where I can use it with one hand and I can just pull it out of the pocket and I can use it with one hand and one thumb. I don't like the idea of a folding phone, although I can understand that people who are on the subway or people who are on buses all the time, they might like it because, it folds out and now they've got a big tablet that fits in a purse. Okay, I understand that, but I don't need that. So I believe Apple needs to make eyeglasses. I believe that if they made some glasses that record, I think that if they did that, I think they would, that would definitely be the next big thing. I think they'd make a lot of money with that. And you'd basically be able to record in 4K. You'd be able to have AI read things to you, translate things instantaneously. I think that would make a lot of sense. The only problem is they need to build it and they need to pull it off. Like if they made something like that, I would absolutely buy that. I had heard a rumor that they had thought about putting cameras inside the iPods. I think that's a stupid idea. If you're going to have a camera that you wear on your head, it should be it should be right in the middle of your face. It should be like glasses. It should be just like this. It should be glasses where you got either a camera on the sides or you got a camera in the middle. And I think the middle makes more sense because this area is thick. And you have the battery over here in the ears or something. You have speakers in the ears. Like, if they pulled this off, if they could build glasses and they pulled that shit off, that would be amazing. That would change the course of human interaction, like, forever. That would change PO video recording forever. But they just haven't done it yet. The question is why. I don't give a shit about a folding phone. This is what I want. If you want me to be happy, that right there is what I want. I don't give a goddamn about no goddamn stupid folding phone. That's a stupid product. This is what we need. And that's what we need. We need somebody up there who's in the CEO position. We need them to say, listen, we need some glasses. Because, their wearables are highly profitable. Their Apple Watch has been highly profitable. Their earpods have been highly profitable. They're selling you fucking $300 headphones, and chances are you're going to lose one of them. That is highly profitable. Glasses would be absolutely the big thing. But they came out with the stupid Vision Pro bullshit for $4,000. That failed. And hopefully they do the smart thing and take what they learned from that and they make some glasses. They need some prescription glasses, non-prescription glasses, and then they need sunglasses. And if they do that they can basically print themselves another $1 trillion. So that's all I got to say. I got to get ready. Summer's over, Labor Day is over. It's time to get back to work.